Romy Mac.
Yo, what up, what up? This is Romy Mac. Welcome to another episode of The Locker Room. I'm in here with none other than Karumbe. You know, a couple things we're going to get into. Of course, where the hell is LeBron going to go? That is always a topic of discussion, especially after losing the way that they did. And, you know, the NBA draft and, you know, couple more things. But let me get the man of the hour, the man with the power. They call him motherfucking Karumbe. What's up, brother?
What up, boss?
Ain't nothing, man. You know, so like you said, we were talking about where the hell's LeBron gonna go? Really, you know, and a lot of options.
Trying to find a team where there's a bunch of people on already.
Maybe so. I've told you. I think
Shaq said, give it up. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that, because in the long run, when you don't win, it's gonna make you look bad. You know what I'm saying? You're just gonna end up on a bunch of teams that you shouldn't be on.
So yeah, let's talk about what Shaq said. What exactly did Shaq say?
He was saying like, it's gonna pretty much tarnish his legacy.
No.
Legacy would be better if he was to stick with one team now instead of trying to find a super team to join. That's pretty much what Shaq was saying.
Nah, I think.
I mean, he found a team. And one thing I have to say, a lot of people hate the fact that you gotta remember, like, Golden State beat Kevin Durant when he was on a different team. They built that team from the ground up. A lot of people forget that these are niggas that was drafted. These are like niggas that built up from the ground up, yo.
Man, listen. Like, if LeBron is listen, we've seen it done over time. Now, granted, he's not as young as he used to be, but LeBron is still physically fit and able to do whatever he wants on that court. So no matter where he goes, that team is going to go to they're going to go far. I don't know if necessarily be NBA Finals. If in the East, for sure. Now West Coast, that's a whole nother ball game, because the West is a little bit more difficult. They play more defense. They've been big, you know. They've always been that. The West has always been that way. So if he does go West and he goes to LA, he's got to come with a pack. You know, there's got to be somebody. There's got to be some type of incentive for him to be, you know, to come out there, and having somebody the likes of like Alonzo Ball that's out there, and you know his father's a distraction, and you know him and Kuzma doing diss records and shit to each other, like they doing all the fun, but it can be distracting, and you know LeBron is just at an age where maybe he doesn't want to deal with all that.
What I want to say about this whole thing is, joining a team that's built sounds good, but I think he needs a coach. He don't need a team. He needs a coach. Because you want to know what a fucking real coach would have did? He wouldn't let him play all those minutes he played.
A real coach would have called a timeout.
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying.
With J.R. Smith.
The teams that LeBron's been on is teams that's not coached well.
Well, he's never been on a I won't give Spoelstra that. I'm sorry.
But you can see, even though Jordan was the kind of person like, fuck you, I'm going to do what I want to do. But when time came, you could tell he listened to Phil, because Phil ran the same plays, the same type of shit.
Triangle.
He was at fucking the latest.
The triangle. He ran the triangle.
I mean, it worked, though.
Yeah.
I put it like this. Good. As much as we hate,
my thing is, how can you
give coaches credit?
Let's just say LeBron is Iverson's legacy tarnished?
Iverson's legacy was tarnished because of what he said when he was like, you know, the whole practice thing. But when you break it down, like
accolade wise,
Iverson would have been better if he would have stopped while he was ahead. You know what I'm saying?
Is Kobe's legacy tarnished?
Kobe stayed with one fucking team.
He was about to leave, though. He wanted to leave. He voiced it. He did say he wanted to leave.
He did, but he stuck where he was.
He stuck where he was. But what I'm saying is that, I mean, even his last season, the Lakers didn't even make the playoffs. what I'm saying is that regardless where LeBron goes, I mean, it on a like in the short scheme of things, yes, it looks bad on legacy, but long term, that shit ain't gonna matter, man. Wilt Chamberlain is still revered as one of the best centers to play in the game. The motherfucker switched teams, you know. That's just what it was. I mean, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, same ordeal. I mean, did he go out on top? I don't know. I don't know if Kareem Abdul-Jabbar went out on top. I have to check the
I'm saying
check
he
stats.
made himself look bad when he started that super team shit. You know it.
Well, that we can agree on. That we listen.
Man, it's gonna be like
that is something.
Right,
yeah, that's something we can agree on, man. As far as that goes, this like the super team shit. Then
and trying to go back to another stack super team. People get on Kevin Durant for it, but I'm like,
well, LeBron didn't go. When LeBron went to Miami was put out.
I put it like this:
he was put out they were put out in the first round.
Player on his team that wasn't a star player on his team that felt he was.
LeBron went to Miami and they got put out in the first round. Kevin Durant went to the team that put his ass out. Not to mention they were 73-9 that year. So I mean, yeah, it's the same thing. It just looks bad on more on Kevin Durant than it does with LeBron. That's all. What looks bad to me is the fact that the Cavaliers over the past few years have been shaking up that roster like they're playing in a league on 2K or some shit. Like whenever a guy fuck up, like for me, whenever I play 2K, if a guy fucks up in the game, I trade his ass the next game before the deadline. This is how I play the game. I mean, the Cavaliers are going to fall. They're going to fall very hard. And I don't think J.R. Smith will be no longer employed in the NBA after this year. That's just me. I think he's going to be blackballed because again, it's unfortunate. It's not all his fault. George Hill makes the free throw. We don't even have this conversation. Truthfully.
I think a lot of what makes it look bad too is like people say LeBron don't make the team. He don't make the players around him better, which puts him in the same boat that he's in now, where he has to play a hellish amount of minutes and all the rest of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Even if you go to a super team, you can't destroy what that team. I mean, not a super team, but a team that's already built. You can't destroy the way they've been coached before, and that's what he does. He destroys the whole fucking. Just like if you look at what's that nigga name? White Chocolate. If you look at the nigga that should have went to like Kevin Love, man, look, he was a fucking monster at one point.
Yeah.
Like people who go with him,
we had that conversation. We had that conversation right after the trades were made. That I think LeBron is a cancer to a locker room to some degree. The mystique. I don't really think it's more so. I mean, because LeBron has always been team first as long as it goes through his way. But his team first. Don't get me wrong. Just that the mystique of being on a LeBron James team, I think, is a bit much. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think it's the team. I think it's him.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because it has to run his way. So you're going to have these issues that you face with that. Being on a LeBron James team, you're going to have people that are like, feel some type of way because they're not the guy, and they feel like they probably are the guy, but they're not even close to what they could be on a LeBron James team. I know for sure if Kevin Love stayed with the Minnesota Timberwolves would eventually have been better. Let's just say if Andrew Wiggins had stayed on the Cavaliers with LeBron, you probably wouldn't hear about Andrew Wiggins. Just like the one guy that they drafted that was from Canada, the other kid they drafted from Canada. We don't even talk about him. I don't even know his name. He was a big man for the Cavaliers, and now I have no idea where he is. He might not even be in the NBA anymore. But it's just a lot, being in being on a LeBron James team, on a Michael Jordan team, on a Kobe Bryant team. These guys are larger than life.
But they still played. He made them better. That's the difference.
Yeah.
He made them better.
Would you say Kobe made his players better?
Yes.
You sure?
Yup, because he got in their ass.
I will agree on.
Buying him without Kobe Bryant wouldn't be good. A lot of motherfuckers without him would not be like who they are.
Well, let's examine this, man. What player did LeBron make better?
I don't know. I can't even tell you. I can't say J.R. Smith because J.R. Smith has always been J.R. Smith.
Yep.
Kyrie Irving was good before him.
He wasn't winning before him.
What's the other nigga name?
What do you think?
The little nigga that used to mess with his Dante. Maybe he made him better.
Yeah, well, his mom made him better. That's about it. But that's not.
Up, bro.
That's
on,
neither
man.
here. That's neither here nor there.
Ron.
Hey, man, Ron, we heard the rumor. We know why you left Cleveland, man. They did you wrong, and I ain't know what. I'm not even joking about.
Hey, nigga, you won't be messing with my mom either, motherfucker.
Nah, man, that's something wild right there, man. That's too much. That's too much for me to bear. But it did happen. LeBron went to Miami, and now he's on his way to the Great Lakes. He's going to be a Laker.
I think actually, this is how I think it's gonna play out. Well, he's gonna have to because if they saying that Popovich, he needs to go to San Antonio, bro.
That would be nice. I would love to see.
He needs to go to San Antonio. He got a big man. He don't have to work. Aldridge did his thing in the playoffs, bro.
I don't like him. I don't like Aldridge.
I mean, and for him to be like pretty much. I think that him having an actual big man that can do some shit, throw it to in the paint, whatever he need to do, would actually benefit him. Popovich would, the way he sets his team up, because LeBron's getting older. As much as people hate to admit it, that showed in the playoffs he runs out of steam.
Shit.
He has a slow offense, which will help LeBron in the long run when you think about it.
LeBron played.
Down, you got LeBron getting minutes, goes out. Popovich know how to keep a team.
LeBron barely missed. Bro, LeBron barely missed a few games this year. That motherfucker's on a whole nother level. He puts $1 million into conditioning himself. He played his best game. I would say some of his best ball this year. I'm not going to say it's his best altogether because, again, he has his youthful years. But, like, to be in year 15, I mean, let's look.
I think he should mess with Popovich, man.
It would be a good look. That's not a bad position to go to. I mean, we went from Houston. We went from the idea of him, Chris Paul, and Harden in Houston playing. We went, and Trevor Ariza said he's not taking anything except the max for him, so he's not staying. He's gonna leave. I think Trevor Ariza's gonna leave, which will, I don't know. I mean, would you say Trevor Ariza was absent in that last game anyway? He didn't have it. He didn't have 1 point, not one.
But
in the game 7 against Golden State. So I mean, to say that you're not gonna take the max, you're only as good as your last game. You're only as good as your last game. So with that being said, what are they going to say? Like, well, you didn't show up in a crucial point. Chris Paul was not there. He needed y'all to step up. You didn't score 1 point. So now, and you want max money? What do you say? If you're a GM, if you're an owner of a team?
I mean, Trevor Ariza's a decent shooter, bro.
He's a shooter, but when was the last time you just heard people? The last time I really heard about Trevor Ariza was when he was with y'all.
But I like him when I fuck with him when Houston because I used to play with him on the game. Like that's my nigga.
Fuck with that.
But yeah, if he leaves, he leaves. He'll fit better in Popovich. He was good when he was with the Spurs. Was he with the Spurs? No, he wasn't.
No, he was with LA and he was with Houston. So that's where he's gonna be. And there's been talk.
He will also fit with the Spurs.
There's been talk about LeBron possibly coming to Nolan, doing that Nolans thing.
I don't think that'd be a good look.
Cousins, Davis, Rondo.
That's Anthony Davis's team, and if he goes there, and the same thing gonna happen that happened to Kevin Love.
Yeah,
so he might as well not go to what he needs to go to a team.
So what do you think? Like when it's all said and done, how will we revere Anthony Davis? Will Anthony Davis have a ring?
Yep. I think Anthony Davis gonna get a ring eventually.
With that team.
But it ain't gonna be in New Orleans.
All right. There we go. That's what I'm saying.
It ain't gonna be in New Orleans, gonna get a ring, but it ain't gonna be in New Orleans.
Yeah, I would like to see Anthony Davis come to LA. Come to the Lakers. Yeah, come to the Lakers. I would love to see LA back on top. I would love to see Chi-Town. My boys. I would love to see Chicago. Trying to see Chicago back on top. That would be great. But we gotta get through some
With a rocket, he's still moving.
We gotta get through some stuff, man. If we're gonna even be a contender in the NBA. The NBA is so lopsided right now, man, and I just don't want the other teams around the NBA to try to conform and do what Golden State, what Miami did, you know, like to put that level of talent, like to have guys, instead of saying, oh, because I can't beat you, let's just team up with the best things we got and then we can win. Because most people, most sports critics, people that follow the NBA, we knew we were who we were going to see in the NBA Finals this year. There wasn't even like a doubt or anything.
But I don't even care, yo. To tell you the truth, we knew who we were going to see when we saw fucking the Bulls play.
Hey, hold up. Was it spaced out? Was the talent spectrum spaced out?
The talent spectrum was spaced out.
All right. Now let me ask you now. Was it entertaining to watch back then?
Yeah.
What is it entertaining to watch now?
Yeah, somewhat.
Somewhat is not yes. Somewhat is not no. What I do know is that, you know, in the East was fun. I think even you mentioned this shit that, you know, the East was a lot better than what it is right now.
Yeah. So
again, that means there's more of a challenge. Like you had your pacer run. With Reggie Miller and, you know, what was it? Detlef Schrempf, Rick Smits, got time frame, Mark Jackson. Then you had your your Knick run with Charles Smith, Ewing, Mason, Houston, Charles Oakley. You know, like those guys battling with like the likes of Chicago. And just even in the West, you know, the Rodman, Robinson, you know, Sean Elliott days. What other teams were big back then, man? Utah Jazz, you know, Utah coming back. It was just competitive all around. A lot of people are holding on to the olden days, but I just will say that the competition, the level of competition was a bit spaced out. It's like, one argument that Jordan can, like, the LeBron fans can have is that Jordan didn't have to face three of the top best shooters on one team. You know, that can be said. That's one thing.
The whole NBA is shooters now. And one it was Scrimps. There was Gary Payne and somebody else that was on the same team. That was a bunch of fucking shooters on the team.
But I'm with Kobe.
Superstars had nothing but fucking shooters.
I'm with Kobe on the thing. You gotta find a way to win, though.
Exactly.
You do gotta find a way to win.
Gotta find a way to win, man. That's the whole purpose.
Yeah.
Like you see how they always foul Shaq. They fouled Shaq. They knew that was his weakness, sending him through the line. But guess what? The Lakers still found a way to fucking win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you gotta find a way. You know, you gotta find a way to win. We got NBA draft coming up. We know that kid out of Arizona is gonna probably be taken number 1 by Phoenix. That'll be cool. Trae Young, I'm hoping he comes to Chicago.
Shouts out to Tubbs. He gonna be happy. Tubbs gonna be happy. He like Phoenix, bro.
Yeah. That's gonna be I think that's gonna be a really good look for them, man. Devin Booker. I think the other twin is still there. The one twin that's in Morris or whatever the other Morris twin is. I think he's still in Phoenix. One plays for Washington, right? Yeah, the other twin plays for Washington. And that's I honestly thought a couple years ago that Washington was going to be the team of the future. Like right now, I thought we would be talking about them, but I don't know. Bradley Beal. John Wall and what's the big Gortat? Yeah.
You know what? The Washington Wizards are basically like
a letdown.
I want to say they're like
they're a letdown. That's what I call them.
Yeah, they're let down. They're like Toronto kind of.
Yep.
Let down.
In a
Their team
sense.
should be way better than they are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they fall apart in certain spots. That's what it comes down to.
That's how I see it. I see them as a letdown. But oh well. Hopefully, you know, this is the time where we see what's going to happen next year, and everybody gets their thoughts together about what they intend to see from these teams. And we'll be back talking basketball in a couple like after this week with the NBA draft, and of course the free agency moves and all that stuff. We'll have that talk. It'll be quiet for like maybe a month or two, and then we'll be back to talking, NBA and NFL. Looking forward for NFL, of course, coming up. But last night we did have Money in the Bank, so we're gonna get into that right there. So couple key matches that stood out. Nia Jax, Ronda Rousey. They did a little build up. I wasn't really sure if that was going to be a strong enough storyline with the two of them. With Nia Jax and Ronda. Ronda's acting isn't the greatest.
They had to make the match as fast as possible and have a better outcome.
She can wrestle. That's the thing. Ronda can actually wrestle, though. I have to give it to her.
I don't like her. She actually can't wrestle.
She makes it look good. Like
off television.
The arm bar that she did from standing with Nia Jax. Nia Jax ain't no small girl.
The arm bar is easy to do. That's why they make her do it, because she's used to doing it.
And then, like her punching.
You see her slaying people and stuff.
Her punching combinations. I mean, she did look a little nervous.
She looks like she's gonna hurt herself and
she did look a little nervous on the top rope. I will say that. Like she was slipping a little bit. But she her splash was, her high cross body splash was pretty good. I'll give her that much. But
that's like a very easy ass move to execute.
You gotta give her something.
She hasn't trained long enough.
No, and I said that.
And that's one thing I hate. They're trying to. Kurt Angle was a prodigy when he did it. Him and Brock Lesnar had actual wrestling backgrounds.
Yeah.
Like they learned. They even sent Brock Lesnar to the thing when he first started wrestling.
Yeah, they may have.
You don't throw people to the wolves and they doing that shit for money. Which is she gonna end up either hurting herself or hurt somebody else?
Well, she'll be leaving soon because I think she wants to start a family. I know she had mentioned that, so they're trying to milk this thing as long as they can. Same almost like with the Goldberg thing, but the difference between her and Goldberg had wrestling training. Yeah, experience too. But they definitely are pushing this. This is a moneymaker. It works. I mean,
they masked it. They made his matches shorter.
She comes out smiling all the time, and then she turns on that evil face. Like that's not. I just don't feel like that's believable. That's just my take on that. And then what match we saw was it Nakamura and AJ Styles.
Hard.
Yeah, it was.
I wish Nakamura would have won because AJ Styles don't need it.
Yeah, and they're where we see where they're going with this thing. They had Braun Strowman win the Money in the Bank match. So again, I mean, I just want Braun Strowman to talk less. Well, it's too late now because they already let him talk.
It's too late because they gave him he gonna have to talk. He don't have a mouthpiece.
Yeah, now he has to talk.
They would have gave it to Braun Strowman.
I miss the old days. I think they had something going. You remember the days where Bobby Heenan did most of the talking for the Barbarian. He did most of the talking for Andre the Giant. They'll make few statements, but not a lot. You know what I'm saying? And because there's very few wrestlers that just have that gift, because if I was, me, God rest his soul, I really wish he was still here. If I'm a wrestler and I'm big as shit, if I'm Braun Strowman and I look like this homie guy or whatever, he just looks like a country boy to me. And then I would have Dusty Rhodes be my valet. and he can just throw a whole bunch of talking about me, Braun Strowman being the WCW champion and all that shit. I think that would have been a great move. You know, I would say that would have been a great strategy for you know to have something like that. I think Roman. I think you had something going, man. They could have been like an evolution, like the Seth, the Shield. Just have them like business suits, or even push the way that they were pushing.
And you want to know what's crazy? Yeah, like you said, when you say like, I'm gonna tell you like, Batista was somebody they wanted to make big when he hung around Triple H and them.
Yeah.
They haven't done that with Braun Strowman.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I want
hang around Ric Flair, Triple H, some of the best mouthpieces you can find, to help him get his talking up before they made Batista big and turn on what's his name, Triple H.
Yeah,
but
dude, big.
They didn't do that with Braun, and I think he gonna fall flat. They should have gave the belt, the Money in the Bank, to somebody.
I don't like the family shit. Like Listen, that's all well and good that you want to do a family show, WWE, but you've already crossed. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if you were gonna stay that family way, we should have kept the ring with the blue and then the red, white, and blue shit back, back in the day. But you've gone over into the attitude range, and you got the ring ropes red, and everything is like this dark. You got this sense of darkness over wrestling. So I think that they should just continue to go in what they're doing. I mean, yes, you got a lot of money involved, and I mean, your family thing, it needs to be more of like, I think you need more Attitude Era type shit than family oriented. Like Braun Strowman should be doing like some crazy shit, almost like I guess like him throwing Kevin Owens off of that ladder and hitting him on that table.
They should. I'm sorry. They should have just gave the belt to Samoa Joe or Finn Balor. If they would have given it to Finn Balor, they could have started the damn Balor Club as a legit. Oh man, I got hit with a boogie bomb. They could have started it as a legit like group.
Let's bring back the Hardcore Championship.
They could have had it as a legit group,
Let's bring back the Hardcore Championship.
I don't think they need to bring the Hardcore Championship back, to tell you the truth.
I would love.
They got belts that don't mean shit right now, like the European title.
No.
They got a European title.
The best European title I know, the best European title holder that I remember was Triple H, and then probably Owen Hart. I believe they're probably the best European and European title holders that I can remember. No.
They don't do stuff like they need to no more, man. The whole I just don't like. They finally gave it to Braun, and Braun deserved it, but they gave it to Braun too late. And when you look at that match, the most popular people in that match was Rusev, Finn Balor, and I think what was the other nigga name? Samoa Joe. They should have gave that shit to either one of them. I'm thinking they should have gave it to Samoa Joe, because he looked like he'll legit fuck somebody up. Like, Braun Strowman could have got it. They could use Braun Strowman because they saying that what's the name gonna leave anyway. Braun Strowman will eventually got the belt.
Yeah.
But having the belt on a straight up villainous ass motherfucker like Samoa Joe, because Samoa Joe was choking him out.
Yeah.
I was like, man, they should have put the damn belt on Joe. Finn Balor would have been good because they could have started the group. Because WWE, if you look at SmackDown is going to have Sanity. It's probably going to have Undisputed. It's going to be a bunch of groups.
Bring me back the Horsemen. Where the hell is Arn Anderson when you need him?
Working backstage.
Yeah, they need to help these boys out. They just don't have it. I know they see it, and I know that they have. I'm pretty sure there's like some wrestlers talking on some podcasts that are just saying how they can do so much more, but Vince is like kind of stuck in his ways type shit. I'm sure. I know. I was listening to Mark Henry talk on one thing, and he was talking about how like how foul it was being a wrestler. When he was on the come up, like people they would do pranks and shit like that, just like straight evil shit. Like he talked about a wrestler, like how they did The Rock one time. I think it was Shawn Michaels, how they literally shit.
His food, yeah, that's just like uncalled.
That's that bullshit, man. And you like, I noticed you never see. I've never known The Rock to face Shawn Michaels. You never saw it. You never saw The Rock versus Shawn Michaels.
They never had a pay-per-view type shit.
I don't think they've ever fought.
I think they have. They did have a pay-per-view type shit.
Yeah, because.
And the reason is because motherfucking Rock got bigger than he was. He's like, fuck no, I'm not gonna have a match and then fuck him. I would have felt the same way though.
Yeah, I mean,
but you know what's crazy is when no offense to my nigga Mark Henry, because I love Mark Henry to be on the real. When Mark Henry was in the WWE, he wouldn't say that. He would be like, because there's other people saying that like they were racist and they do racist shit. And Mark Henry be like, no man, you know, now all of a sudden he's saying shit. I'm like, yo, really? He already got in the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like, yeah, they do fucked up shit to people. And I remember him saying, nah, man, it ain't like that. I'm like, bullshit. There's too many black wrestlers that say they do stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that fear that we're gonna overtake what they feel is theirs.
But I guess now he in the Hall of Fame, he like, forget it.
Well, they could take you out. I mean, we've seen that. I mean, it took Snooker's ass out. It took Hogan out. But, I mean, I'm sorry, but they will never be able to take either two of them out, truthfully. Well, I mean, there's an official Hall of Fame, but we know, for those that watch wrestling throughout the year, we know who's rightfully deserved to be in the Hall of Fame.
I put it like this: I don't give a fuck what Hogan say. If Kid Rock is in the Hall of Fame, Hogan should be in that motherfucker.
That's bullshit. I think that's bullshit that he's even in there. But I mean, having a guy like Hogan, man, on what he did and what he did for me coming up. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm telling you, that feeling that I would get when like something would be going on in the ring, and then I would hear that, of course, that all American music when it hits, that I am a real American shit hit. I lit up as a kid. Same with Sting, the Man Called Sting, when that music would come on. Just like the Hollywood Blondes, there were some of the best talent that we were seeing at the time out there, and I never thought that Stunning Steve Austin would turn into Stone Cold Steve Austin the way that he did, man. And it was something to see. He was larger.
It was crazy, man. I was always big on the villains.
Yeah.
Because of their intros, the way they acted. I just love it. I don't know what it is about like Flair, and when Macho Man turned evil, oh my goodness, I ate that shit up.
Yeah, Macho Man, he was good at it too, man. He was a great heel. He had a great heel run. And Sensational Queen Sherry, she plays her role. Now that motherfucker could turn a crowd, yo. God rest her soul.
They don't have good females like that though. They try to turn them all into wrestlers.
Yep,
It's stupid.
like Alexis Bliss, like the fact that she came out on the Nia Jax Ronda Rousey match. I love that. You know, they don't have any like strict. They're all the women in WWE now are wrestlers. They don't have any women valets. You know, well, other than just one.
They're not using them.
Yeah, just one. Like what's Shorty Rusev's wife or whatever.
Yeah, they try to make her into a wrestler, which they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
She works good as a valet, man. Rusev, Vasco.
Yeah. Rusev J.
He a villain, but he got a good ass sounding intro. That Russian shit hitting hard.
Yeah.
I wish that it would have been Big E in it, and if they would have made Big E win, it would have been great. Because it would have been breakup of New Day, where they could have just put most of the belts on New Day. That would have been fucking crazy.
We won't see it happening, man.
Dude, if you look at New Japan, fucking the Bullet Club damn near got all the belts, yo. These motherfuckers are running amok right now.
I like the way I like the way the NWA ran with the Horsemen. Made the greatest villains, and they just made everybody else look good. And then eventually they tried to give them all the belts. Well, they shouldn't have done that. That with with Arn and what's it, Tully having the tag team titles, and then of course Flair with the world heavyweight, and who was that? Who's left? Or was it Arn? No, it was Arn and the old dude that ended up getting out of the shit. Ole. Yeah, Ole. So the Anderson, what were they called? Minnesota Wrecking Crew?
Were they the Minnesota Wrecking Crew? Because I think it was like Minnesota Wrecking Crew was Shelton Benjamin and
Nah, that was long before them, man. No, Minnesota, I think
Ohio something or some shit like that.
Something. It was something technical like that. I forgot. Well, I have to watch the DVD to remember that, man. But yeah, that was just great days, man. Just having great villains, and that's what made wrestling fun. Because again, it's the storyline. But oh well, we have to talk about that another day, man. I want to say we had a pretty decent show, talking on the basketball, where LeBron's gonna head, and then talking about the Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank was great.
I think it was mediocre. I'm gonna be real.
Yeah, it was great.
I watched the New Japan show. The Dominion was like 3 times as better than fucking this was.
I'll have to watch. I'll actually have to watch New Japan just to see.
New Japan is like, I'm sorry, it put WWE to fucking shame.
And where is New?
Every time I get upset because.
And it's taking place in Japan.
I know these fucking people. A lot of these Japanese wrestlers.
Yeah.
But the wrestling is above par. The damn.
It's in Japan. Is it in Japan?
Like, you look at WWE, I get upset because like it should be better, man.
And it takes place in Japan.
Yeah.
Okay.
And most of the people like Cody Rhodes is the shit. I'm just saying, like, they've done wonders with the people they have, and that's the crazy shit about it. They have done wonders with like everything they've been doing, man.
Right.
I haven't seen a bad pay-per-view that they put out yet.
Yeah. They I have to check. Yeah, I have to look at them.
I'm not even gonna say fan. You're a wrestling fan, and you look at all the talent. Like they got Ricochet and all these other people. It upsets you, man. It's like, what is Vince? What are they doing, man? It's like
their business. They got money. They got money hungry. Truthfully, but I don't know. So eventually Vince will have to step down, and then things will change. There'll be a more modern. They'll modernize what they're doing, and just see how they go. How they pretty much go from there. But yeah, man, you got anything you want to add to the folk before we close this one out?
Not really, man. I was trying to think of something, but I can't really think of anything right now.
Cool. Go out reserve. Oh yeah.
I can say battle wise.
AJ Styles made the cover for WWE 2K19.
He should. He'd be one of the best people on the roster.
And of course, LeBron is on the cover of 2K19 for NBA. But I vote that J.R. Smith should be on the cover for 2K19.
Y'all make that motherfucker commit suicide, man. And you know what? People gonna be like, man, people just kept messing with him.
Yeah, no worse than that kicker for the Buffalo.
Right now, he's fragile.
No worse than that.
Probably cussed him out. All the teammates cussed him out. Coach probably cussed him out.
It's no worse than the kicker for the Buffalo Bills who missed that damn kick against the Giants. He still hated to this day, I'm sure.
But man, I don't think JR built like that to take that shit though.
Well, man. That's where the big boys play. That's what they said, right? But yeah. Go. What was you saying about the battle?
I was trying to think of a battle that recently came out that's worth watching.
Arsenal and
I think Danny Myers versus Saint Mike, but he ranked, in my opinion, he beat Saint Mike 3-0.
Arsenal.
That motherfucker had an Einstein bar that was like, I'll punch him, and he said my bars are like Einstein or something.
Arsenal and
space-time continuum.
Arsenal and Hollow.
I'm fucking it up, man. You gotta watch the battle.
What'd you think of Arsenal and Hollow?
I have not watched the battle.
Oh, okay. You haven't watched it yet. I thought it was okay, man. I mean, they got a little scuffle. They had a little scuffle in the middle of it, but I think you'll appreciate that.
Mostly because I think Arsenal, from what I've heard, this kind of why I don't want to watch the battle is that Arsenal got cooked, and that's what I keep hearing is he got cooked.
Yeah, it got personal.
Yeah, he didn't really. And that happens with Arsenal because it's like he didn't really go out. You know what I'm saying? He didn't really battle.
That's pretty much all we got for the day. We appreciate everybody listening in, of course, on your iTunes, on Stitcher, on YouTube. You know, be sure to check us out in the future for some more stuff coming from us here. You know, with the 2 cents in the locker room and all that stuff. But from Romy Mac and Karoon Bay, we out. Peace.